In the mid-1980s, Ottawa, Canada was pretty conservative, and the options for an aspiring musician like me were limited. Montreal, on the other hand, had a thriving music scene, so I decided that was where I needed to be. I applied to Concordia University, which only accepted 4 drummers each year. My music teacher, Chuck Burrows, spent a year and a half preparing me for the audition. Chuck said, "Look, they're not going to teach you anything I haven't taught you. Here, I can give you the knowledge, but I cannot give you the environment. At university, you will be surrounded by many musicians who are at least as good as you are, or much better. And in Montreal, there will be many live music clubs you can go to and maybe play some gigs. You can practice till you're blue in the face, but nothing beats the real-life experience of being on stage and dealing with musicians, bar managers, and audiences." Chuck put a huge dose of fear in me. Then he ran me through the ringer, practicing every style of music, from bossa nova to rock to basic jazz, and improving my reading just so I could get through the audition. When the day finally came, I was nervous as hell. There must have been 35 to 40 drummers in the waiting room. We could hear musicians auditioning all over the halls. When I heard the other drummers playing, I thought, holy shit, these guys are smoking. Finally, it was my turn. I walked in to find 4 judges and teachers sitting behind a table, and a drum set sitting across the room. Someone handed me a sheet of music I'd never seen and told me to play. Then they gave me another sheet, and another. For what seemed like a billion minutes, but was more like 15, I played everything: R&B, bossa nova, samba, funk, rock, and some drum rudiments. It was really a test of fundamentals. Can you sight read? Can you play syncopated notes? Are you familiar with all the styles? The point was to find out if I knew the basics that would carry me through their program. That audition was one of the most nerve-wracking experiences I've ever gone through. 3 to 4 months later, I received an envelope from Concordia. I opened it with shaking hands and pulled out the sheet of paper. The first line started, "We are pleased to inform you." I couldn't believe it. Even though I worked hard at playing the drums, I had major imposter syndrome and frequently thought, who am I to play music? I'm sure everybody's better than me. This acceptance letter told me I was doing what I was supposed to do. It was the validation I needed to keep going. From the moment I got off the bus in Montreal, I felt like I was on a different planet. People dressed differently, talked differently, and walked differently than they did in Ottawa. Girls had blue hair and wore boots. Guys had long hair and wore earrings. They all looked hip and artistic, completely at ease with who they were. I heard Italian, French, Greek, and other languages spoken all around me. The city had such a vibrant energy. I was in heaven. From those first days in Montreal, I was focused on one thing: starting a band and playing music. I just wanted to play James Brown and Aretha Franklin with other musicians who loved that genre as much as I did. That was the whole reason I had left Ottawa to study at Concordia. That was the whole reason I was taking a theory class. Soon, I got tired of waiting. If the whole reason I was going to university was to be in a band, why not just be in a band? By November 1987, I had assembled my first band, According to Roger, and by February 1988, we were booked 26 out of 28 days in a city where most bands were booked Friday and Saturday each week, if they were lucky. 7 years later, I started my second real band, Elchakieh, and I've never looked back. But it all started because I knew what I wanted. The journey to a successful music career begins with you. You have to know what you want, where you want to play, who you want to play with. Only then can you take the first step in the right direction.